So if you're a retail executive and you just spent days navigating, acres of displays and demos at NRF 2026, you likely left feeling two things at once. Overwhelmed by just the sheer volume, but also maybe energized by this new, very clear operational focus.
Oh, absolutely. That's the perfect way to put it.
And that intersection, the volume and the focus, that's exactly why we're doing this deep dive. We're taking all those conversations, the notes from the backroom meetings, everything from the biggest retail show of the year, and we're just cutting straight to the core.
Yeah.
Because NRF 2026, it felt busy, yes, but it felt, well, fundamentally different. The biggest observation was this huge shift in tone.
It really was.
So, okay, let's unpack this. What were retail leaders actually prioritizing and, budgeting for when all the flashy screens went dark?
The tone shift this year was, it was immediate, almost jarringly so. It really wasn't about the grand, distant future anymore.
Right, the 5 years out stuff.
Exactly. None of that. The conversation moved very practically from someday we'll use this to how do we implement this to solve my current labor problem by, next quarter.
So our mission today is to give you that grounded insight, the unvarnished operator perspective. We saw NRF's own data confirming physical stores are still foundational.
They absolutely are. So the mandate for executives now is pretty clear. Stop debating if technology matters and start figuring out how to run these essential stores better right now.
And that focus, that immediate, tangible improvement, that's what created this operational reality check that really defined the whole vibe of the show.
It did.
Because while the floor was packed with innovation, the questions people were asking had changed. It wasn't just, what can this do? It was more like, what's the cost of failure if we don't do this?
Right. It's a risk calculation now.
Exactly. Every discussion was dominated by these really practical questions. Will this actually reduce the burden on my store teams? How fast can we roll this out across, a massive geographic area? And crucially, does the speed to value justify the disruption?
That is the perfect way to frame it. If NRF 2026 had a motto for executives, it was less futurist, more operator. And we saw this play out in how capital was discussed. $1 billion CapEx project for a moonshot robot fleet. Just off the table, or at least heavily delayed.
Yeah.
But a very targeted, maybe $100,000 investment in an AI tool that optimizes scheduling or predicts inventory, that's now a priority. Everyone wanted that immediate, tangible impact.
Which brings us, of course, to the headliner, AI. AI was everywhere, but you're right, the tone was just radically different, so much less hype.
So much less. We moved away from the philosophical, AI will change everything, to the super tactical.
Right.
The question became, show me exactly what this does on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. when my store is slammed and we're short-staffed.
And that pragmatism forced a really critical distinction, didn't it? Separating the AI that sounds impressive in a deck from the AI that actually, reduces friction in a workflow.
Exactly. Friction is the enemy. Whether it's for a customer at checkout or an associate trying to find a policy update, AI's new job is just smoothing out those painful points.
And I think that shift is what drove so much of the talk around AI becoming more agent-like.
Yes.
We heard that buzzword a lot, this idea of AI being embedded in workflows, moving past the simple chatbot.
Precisely. We're talking about conversations around agentic shopping. And just to clarify for everyone listening, when we say agentic AI in retail, we don't just mean a better chatbot.
No.
We mean AI tools with more autonomy. Tools that can understand a complex goal and then execute multiple steps of the buying journey on behalf of the customer or the associate.
So like an AI that doesn't just recommend a product.
Right, but one that proactively checks inventory across 3 local stores, initiates a hold, and then schedules your curbside pickup, all from just one simple request.
And speaking of that buying journey, you could not miss Google on the floor at NRF. They had a massive presence. Their whole message was clearly about AI becoming this central force in discovery and commerce.
And this is something retail executives have to be tracking because it hints at a tectonic shift. For years, it's all been about optimizing for SERPs, for search engine results.
Yeah.
But if AI takes on this active agentic role, it changes how customers even find products. The whole game shifts from optimizing keywords to optimizing, capability. Is your inventory data clean enough for an AI agent to trust it? That's the new question.
That is a huge strategic implication. But here's the counterbalance, and this is a critical insight we kept hearing. Even with all this intense AI talk, the human experience still got real respect.
Oh yeah, and real budget. Retail, at its core, is still a people business.
Right.
The leaders were adamant. The goal here is supporting store teams, not replacing them. The true win, the thing that drives margin, is found in human-centered retail. Giving associates tools that help them deliver experiences digital just can't replicate.
And when you boil it down, that better experience in a store, it almost always comes back to associate confidence.
It absolutely does. That's the key takeaway for executives. Stores win when associates are confident. Confident in the product, confident in the procedures, and, confident in how to handle all the messy real-world situations.
And leaders are finally talking less about just training hours and more about the tools needed to build and maintain that confidence in real time.
Exactly.
For the priority has flipped. It's all tactical now. It's about enhancing the people you have.
Yeah.
But that confidence needs to be fed by good information. And that brings us to the operational headache that, truly dominated the backroom conversations at NRF. The topic that doesn't make the glossy headlines, content for the field.
This was a massive pain point, and we're not talking about customer marketing here. We're talking about training content, internal comms, visual merchandising guides, operational updates.
All the critical stuff that needs to get to every associate right when they need it.
And retailers are, frankly, they're drowning in complexity. Think about what your field teams deal with. Weekly product drops, new state-specific policies, complex promotions, visual updates, safety reminders.
It's just a fire hose of information.
It is. And here's the breakdown point everyone is trying to solve. Execution fails when the content format doesn't fit how a store actually runs.
Right.
If a manager has to dig through a 40-page PDF to find one rule, or watch a 15-minute video for a 30-second task, that content is basically useless.
So the mandate we kept hearing in 100 different ways was, we need content that is faster to create and radically easier to consume.
That's it. Speed and scalability for internal comms are now non-negotiable.
And this urgency is exactly why the AI authoring and content generation tools got so much attention, right? Way beyond the flashy demos.
Yes. The deep interest was in solutions that could, say, summarize a massive manual into 2-minute actionable steps, or generate training scripts automatically.
We saw some really practical examples of this on the floor. For instance, brand-aware AI image generation.
Which is so vital. It lets a local team create an on-brand visual for a quick promotion. And it looks official, not like some generic stock photo that violates brand standards. It saves time and protects the brand.
And the other piece was video. Using AI to produce highly realistic training and communication videos really quickly.
And this isn't a gimmick. It's about getting the speed you need in a huge organization without sacrificing the quality that builds that associate confidence we keep talking about.
Right. If the training video looks cheap, no one's going to trust it.
Execution suffers.
So moving beyond just the internal comms, NRF also had these intense discussions about the store space itself. It's becoming much more intentional.
Yes, stores are explicitly becoming experience centers as much as transaction centers. We saw it in the demos. Smarter fitting rooms that are active sales drivers, engagement tools to increase dwell time.
And what's fueling this? It's the continuing rise of retail media, right? It's not just a digital ad play anymore.
That's right. Retail media is now integrating into the physical space, using digital signage, in-app messages, even shelf-edge screens to sell ad space to brands.
So retailers are getting way more sophisticated about monetizing the attention they generate in the physical store.
It's becoming an essential revenue stream to justify the cost of running that modern experiential store.
But, and this is the theme of the show, the operational reality check was always there. It wasn't all optimism. The candid conversations were also about real operational risks.
That's the shadow side of it all. Loss, inventory fraud, and especially the escalating issue of organized retail crime, or ORC. Those topics were dominating the risk management conversations.
And this risk context is so important because it completely frames how executives prioritize spending. When operations feel fragile, buying habits change.
They change dramatically. You immediately cut back on the nice-to-have tools, the shiny future stuff, and you reallocate that budget to tools that directly address those critical needs.
The tools getting the green light have to deliver on two things: make store life easier and demonstrably reduces risk.
Exactly. So we saw huge interest in computer vision for loss prevention or unified communication systems for security protocols. The ROI on risk mitigation is measurable and defensible. That's where the smart money is going.
So if I had to sum up the entire mandate of NRF 2026, it would be this. Retail is done debating if technology matters. and is now just relentlessly focused on debating which technology actually helps us execute better, faster, and more safely.
Absolutely. The debate is over. AI is here. Digital is mandatory. The competitive edge now is whether your new tech measurably improves store life, elevates the customer experience, and helps your teams execute consistently. Execution reliability is the new metric for success.
The whole mood was just,
Yeah.
it was fundamentally practical. Any tech that doesn't clearly reduce friction or mitigate risk is going to be under extreme scrutiny this year.
I think so.
And that leads us to a final thought for you to mull over. If execution is paramount, and we know that stores win when associates are confident, then the next generation of success won't be measured by simple ROI. We have to ask better questions.
We do.
So we leave you with this. What single metric beyond simple financial ROI will executives use in 2026 to successfully measure the effectiveness of tools designed specifically to build and maintain associate confidence? That's the real operational puzzle. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.